Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. On 1st down, they go right back to Cohen. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
A nice run here early on. It doesn't take a great play caller to realize you want to establish a guy of his caliber with runs like this early because they will pay dividends as the game progresses.
So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3. They'll run on 2nd down with Cohen. And very little daylight there. He'll get a couple up to the 44.
And this is why aggressive defensive coordinators love to blitz. It wreaks havoc because they end up taking their attention to the blitzers, freed up the D lineman to make the play.
On 3rd and 1, it's Trubisky. Open man, there is Patterson, complete. Well, forget the run on 3rd and 1. They shock the D and rip off a pretty big play.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
From Viking territory now, they'll come up 1st and 10 at the 30-yard line. Now Trubisky. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Hall. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. 11 more on that one and another 1st down. Well, they're piecing together a nice drive to start this one. Seems pretty scripted and pretty successful so far.
And I think they did it without our help. Because you remember when we sat in the production meeting with them to talk about this and, hey, how are you guys going to come out of the gate? I know I offered my help with a few plays, and they didn't seem to want it.
I didn't offer mine.
You were the smart one. Whatever they're doing, though, it's working really well.
First down, a run with Cohen. And he'll wind up losing yardage here back at the 21-yard line. Now we're going to get a stoppage. Appears to be an injured Bear on the field. And this is certainly not what you want to see in the final week of the year. We'll be back. A rare misstep on that last play because the drive has been strong, but now it's 2nd and 12. First carry from Mike Davis, the former Seahawk. And yet again, he stopped behind the line of scrimmage. Great job by this Vikings defense. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And they're going to face an uphill battle here on 3rd and long. From the gun, it's Trubisky. And this is going to be intercepted. Xavier Rhodes with a pick. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. No doubt a very disappointing end to what was a pretty strong opening drive.
They had 3 points in their back pocket. It was there for them. If you don't like what you see, just throw it away. Make sure you get those points on the board. Don't get too greedy. He forced it there. You saw the end result.
Ready? Black 22. 5-0, 5-0, 5-0. Let's go, defense. Hey, man up, D. Man up, D. Check. Sponge. Where do we go?
Here's Dalvin Cook, 3rd year back from Florida State. And they'll blow that one up back at the 16-yard line. It's a loss of 4 there, bringing up second down.
It's probably a pretty good sign here on the opening drive if your guys from the secondary are coming up and spilling things in the backfield.
How about the adrenaline and aggressiveness that led his eyes to the backfield to run up there and make that tackle, setting a tone early for his defense.
So the first play of the drive lost 4. Now they'll look to move it forward here on 2nd and 14.
Flip it. Shift. Kill. Check three.
From the shotgun, it's Winston. And he's going to be brought down. Back at his own 6-yard line.
2 plays so far, run and a pass attempt, and both have gone backwards.
Probably not how they drew that up.
Not at all.
Looking for a better play coming up on 3rd. After the sack, they'll come up now 3rd and long.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see them run the ball here just to try and get some space.
Instead, they go empty backfield as they'll look to throw. The throw left side complete to Treadwell. And able to get it here to about the 16-yard line. They do get 9, but it leads to 4th down.
One of the money routes for any offense, the drag route. So tough to defend because the receiver can stop at any point and make himself available to the quarterback and get a completion. But I love the communication we saw there. All the defenders pointing out the receiver, where he was going, and then they're able to rally to the ball after the catch and stop him short of a first down.
Check. Watch 54. Hey, man. Watch the boot. Ran, up. Check 13. Check. Move. Mike 5-4.
Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. This one out left to the tight end, Burton.
That's it, baby.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6. From the gun, a give to Davis. And he's going to be stopped just short of the first down marker at the Vikings 38.
5 yards on the play. And it's 3rd down.
And this should be the final play before the quarter ends. No score after 1 on EA Sports. The Bears with the football. We get set to begin quarter number 2. They've got a 3rd down and a yard to start things out. Davis will try to run for it. And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 41. He loses 4, and it brings up 4th.
I wonder if they just kind of outguessed themselves a little bit trying to run it on 3rd down. Probably should have gone to the air to try and pick it up. Instead, the punting unit will have to run on the field.
So they'll play the field position game here as a very nice punt is going to pin them back.
Yeah, it's almost like watching a game of tennis, or do you prefer ping pong? You know, back and forth like that? But it definitely was excellent, wasn't it?
The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway.
Well, they're going to have to go at least 50, 60 yards here if they want to ensure that they don't have to punt the ball like they did last time.
Yeah, so what you're saying is we're not playing to just get out of the shadow of your own goal line, right? You're playing to make sure the punter doesn't see the field again. So it's not picking up a couple of first downs. You want to pick up 5 or 6 first downs and make sure you move the ball into their territory.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8.
Check Mike, check Mike.
Here's Winston. He's got it complete to Stephon Diggs. And he's brought down, but not before they get it across the 20-yard line. 11 yards there, first down.
First and 10 at the 22-yard line.
Even. Not today, you are. Not today. 25, check 25, check 25, check 37, check 37. Wide, get wide.
First down, here's the run with Cook. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up 2nd down. Tough running there. That's a hard-earned 4 yards.
Yeah, those are the unsung kind of runs. They don't fill up the stat sheet, but they do set you up in good position on 2nd down.
The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6.
Let's go, D. 5 on the 50. 5 on the 50.
Here's Winston.
And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's 2nd down.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It was way too tight, unable to find anyone open.
So after the 2nd down incompletion, they'll come up now against a 3rd and 6. Working out of the gun, Winston. And that'll be incomplete. Well, they took their shot all right, but it comes up empty, and it's 4th down.
It's always a goal, and it's really nice defensively when you can rally to the football and make sure there's enough contact to force an incompletion.
Force an incompletion and force another punt. On is the punt team now as this one's sent away.
A nice job on the return there, 16 yards, and the Bears take over.
At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. And things haven't started so well for this side. 2 drives, 2 punts.
So now you've got to start looking not just at play calling, but which guy's going to step forward and say, okay, let's get this thing done. Because within that unit of 11, sometimes one guy can make a big-time play and break through the barrier.
Here's a throw, complete right side to start things out. 10 yards on the...
Up there, and it'll be 2nd down.
10 yards on the pickup. It's 2nd and inches at the 45-yard line.
Still a few inches short of a first down as they come up now on 2nd down.
Watch this score, 61. Matchbox lights. Check 26, check 26. Kill. Man, motion. Watch the edge.
On the run, it's Davis. And he'll be taken down at the 46-yard line. A gain of just a yard, but it's a first down.
2nd and inches is oftentimes an invitation for an offense coordinator to take a big shot downfield because he feels like he can come back on 3rd down and pick up the first down. But sometimes you just don't want to break tendency. Stay with what you are, stay with who you know, and go get the first down. That's exactly what they did.
Hey, 18. 64, weak. 3, check. Hey, watch it, watch it.
He didn't seem in a rush. I guess they just didn't know where the play clock was.
I think you're right about that because there was no hurried movements there, right? No up-tempo at all. Clock just ran out. I think he was as surprised as maybe his bench was.
Now they need 15 yards on this series after the delay of game. 1st and 15. After the penalty, it's Davis. Tackle made that time by Anthony Barr.
Well, obviously they would have at least liked to have gotten back to the original line of scrimmage. Instead, now they're dealing with 2nd and long.
I thought they would have passed it after the penalty. Probably wish they would have now. They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. On 2nd and 12, Trubisky. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Hall. That throw good for only a couple. It brings up 3rd down. 2nd quarter, 2 minutes to go. Tie ball game.
You got him. You got him. You got him.
We'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang at Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL.
Hey, Delta.
On 3rd down, Trubisky. Looking deep for Gabriel. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down.
This team is not going to make it easy for you. They're a physical group, and we just saw it there on that play. It came in, made the contact, just as he's trying to haul it in.
And this one hits at the 1, continues on into the end zone for a touchback. The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. They've had it twice. They've punted twice. Not the start they were hoping for.
Not at all, and let's face it, every facility we visit, everyone talks about converting on 3rd down, how big that is. In this situation, they've had to punt it away twice, so they're furiously going over things on the sidelines. What do we need to do to pick up a 1st down and change our momentum?
6 yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4. They run the counter with Cook, and he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. 7 yards there and a 1st down.
So many teams want to throw the ball in this situation nowadays, but I love watching a team that has enough confidence to go ahead and run the football. In that situation, that's almost a tendency breaker.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. And the running lane's non-existent in this first half as they'll stop him behind the line. The Vikings going to signal for their first of their timeouts as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half.
Ready. 125. 58. Come on. Watch the pass. Watch the pass. Here we go. Here we go.
On 2nd and 11 now. Winston setting up the screen for Cook. Give him 14 on that one and a 1st down.
When you run a screen pass really well, you got to like the look of it because so many parts come together to make it work well. The offensive linemen where they're faking people out, the back slipping out there, catching the football, then all of them going together as one unit downfield. A really nice pickup.
Left side caught by Diggs. Now the Vikings will use the 2nd of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 45 seconds to go in the first half. Able to get 7 on that 1st down pass play. 2nd and 3. Throwing, Winston. Flush to his right.
And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's second down.
You get a tight end like this, and you know he's used to dishing out punishment, but here, he's one that has to absorb the contact, and as a result, unable to hold on to the football.
So the incomplete pass on the last play, and that leads us to a 3rd and 3. They'll run it. Here's Cook. They find some open field here. There he goes, left side. Touchdown, Vikings. Dalvin Cook, his 5th touchdown now on the year, as his guys are first onto the scoreboard here this afternoon. Santos with the extra point, and it's now a 7-0 game. Now, after the touchdown, here's Santos to kick this one away. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully.
The Bears take over 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. Inside of a minute left in the half, does the fact that you're down on the scoreboard influence what you do, or I guess don't do on this final drive?
It certainly does, but what influences me even more is who I've got running my football team out on the field and the weapons around him. Can he make a play? Can he get into someone that we're going to trust to take care of the ball? If that's the case, I might push it a little bit here and try and get something before the half runs out.
They keep it with Davis on 1st down. And he'll just push his way forward for a few as the clock will run. Now the Bears going to use the 2nd of their timeouts as they stop it with 19 seconds to go in half number 1. The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8.
Hey, check 24. Watch 24. 18. 42. Hey, wahoo. Curry. Check 42's the mic. Check 42's the mic.
Here's Trubisky to throw. Going deep this time for Miller. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the former first-rounder Trey Waynes.
At their own 17-yard line.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. Time here for likely a couple plays if they want it, but with the field position what it is, maybe better suited to just sit on this one?
I'm with you totally. I would sit on it and get into the locker room and then start over. But if they do decide to try and make a play, we know what the basics are. You run draw, you run screen. I would maybe run a little swing pass and try and get my lineman out in space and see if they can chop a hole into the secondary and see if he can run a little bit.
Final play of the half here, Winston. And complete, right side to Cook. They hold him to only 2 there on the screen. It's 2nd down.
Out of bounds at the 46-yard line.
Trying to get one more in here before the quarter breaks.
2nd and 8.
You ain't got nothing. Check nickel. Kill. Check it.
On 2nd down, Cook. So we've come upon halftime here in Week 17 as we'll head down to Orlando. That's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. The final 2 quarters of the NFL regular season are upon us as the second half of Week 17 is underway.
We got this.
The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. They have the lead now. They'll be looking for some separation here as we begin the third quarter.
I like the way you term that, because now I think they go a little bit deeper into their playbook. They like what they did in the first half. That worked okay. But in order to get the separation that you just talked about, change things up a little bit. Change your tendencies. Try and hit them a little bit more with some things they didn't see in the first half.
We'll see if they do just that.
First and 10 at the 46-yard line.
A big hitter to start the drive has him up near midfield here for first and 10. Now Cook. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. Another strong gain on the last two plays. They've moved it a combined 33 yards.
First down. First and 10 at the 42-yard line.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. On the ground, it's Cook. A gain of 3, second down. Good job there keeping him to a short gain. Of course, he's coming off a really terrific performance, reigning NFC Defensive Player of the Week.
And I know people get caught up in, well, if you're the reigning Defensive Player of the Week, you must have made a bunch of spectacular plays. Like you mixed in a few of those, but most of the plays are just like we saw there. Keep them to short gains, make the fundamental tackle.
Is intercepted on the sideline. Wait, no. They'll say no. It was caught out of bounds. So this is just an incompletion here. If they want a first, they need to get the football to the 32 here on third down.
Hey, 58 is a mic. Go 58, son. Go, tackle. Let's go. We got this. We got this. 58, let's go.
From the gun, Winston. Flushed out right. And that will be incomplete.
But that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, and have them back on their heels.
And his kick is good. He got every bit of that one as it's good from 56 yards out. These kickers now, it used to be that a 50-plus yarder was cause for celebration. Now, seemingly automatic.
Yeah, isn't it funny when we prepare for a game, when you look at the backgrounds of these kickers, it's interesting, isn't it, to find out they were all-state quarterbacks, receivers, defensive backs, all-state wrestlers, right? Baseball players. We're finding athletes all along, and now they're just specialists putting it through the posts.
The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half two.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use. Just something to get you off to a quick start.
51. Red, come on out here. Come get some. Come get some. Come out here. Come get some.
From the 27, Trubisky. This one left side, caught by Patterson. A huge play there for Chicago. 41 yards. Obviously, they're not where they want to be right now on the scoreboard. Big plays like that, though, that'll trend them in the right direction.
Yeah, a few more like that, they'll be right back in the game. And if they can continue to do that, maybe they'll inspire their defense as well and get a few stops.
A first down carry for Davis. And they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues. 2 yards that time, a stark contrast from the big chunk on the previous play.
At the Vikings 30-yard line.
180. Lock in. All day, every day, any day. Bang, bang, bang. Alert.
From the 30 on second down, Trubisky. Looking sideline, incomplete.
Just work with me a second here, because in my lifetime, seeing how quarterback percentages have changed in throwing the football, I mean, back in the good old days, if you were around 50%, you were doing okay. But now, you need to be 65 to 70% to be considered an elite quarterback. And in this ball game, it feels like we're playing old school, right around 50%.
Yeah, he's under 50%. He needs to start hitting more targets.
I'm coming after you. I'm coming after you. Mike, 55. Right there in the middle. 50. Hey, 18. Smooth. 55. Mike, 55. In the face. Mike, 55.
From the gun on third down, it's Trubisky. He sets to fire deep. And, it'll be intercepted. Picked off by the former first-rounder Trey Waynes. And a great return as they're finally able to take him down. Well, that's 3 picks he's now thrown in this game.
And I know this, the holiday season, because here we are in December, right? It is the season of giving. Maybe for his own sake, after the game, he may have to announce that he's donating certain amounts to charity for each interception that he threw.
They start the drive with Cook. And he takes us across the 15 to the 17. The former Giant, Prince Amukamara, on the stop.
Third quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
Again, it's Cook. And he'll take this up only to about his 18-yard line. Roquan Smith, fresh off a solid rookie campaign, in on the tackle for Chicago.
Well, we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
Escaping the pressure right. And that is incomplete. So it doesn't look like they're going to be able to build off the turnover.
Well, the defense certainly did its part. It got them the football. But you're exactly right. It looks like they're going to have to punt this one away. And it's not a turnover, but doesn't it feel like one after grabbing the momentum with the defensive play?
Yeah, and they had all that momentum after getting the football, and now zapped right back in the other direction. And taken right on the 30. Well, he wasn't too far from breaking that. Officially, give him 15. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. And 3 interceptions in this game. And I would have to think, I wasn't a quarterback, but number 4 is kind of, you're like, oh, man, I can't throw 4.
No, what's interesting is, what do the coaches decide to do now? Having thrown 3, do you alter your offensive strategy? Do you take the ball out of his hands and maybe turn to the running game? Or do you have that supreme confidence that he's going to turn things around?
We'll see what they do. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and it'll be 2nd and 11. From the shotgun is Trubisky. Throw left side complete. That's Burton. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down.
Well, they're unable to convert that into much, but it's never a bad idea to try to get the ball into a tight end of his caliber's hands and see what kind of disruption he can cause.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down.
Here we go. Alert. Mike 51. Bravo.
Out of the gun, Trubisky. And a diving grab. I think he got that. Yes. The 21 yards there as they convert on 3rd.
1st down, Chicago.
And this will probably be the last play of the quarter.
1 quarter remains here as the regular season starts to wind down. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Out of the shotgun, they'll run with Davis. And he went nowhere. Well, he went backwards, back to the 33. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down. This linebacking core, they've done a good job of keeping that running game in check, haven't they?
They certainly have, and what they'll also do when this game is over is thank the guys up front, the big defensive line, because they've kept them clean, so to speak. Not letting blockers get to them, allowing them to run to the football and keep that running game bottled up.
On 2nd and 12, Trubisky. And that is intercepted. Or was it? Wait, they'll say no. No interception. He did not keep the feet in bounds, apparently. So that's just going to be an incompletion. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down.
55.
Now Trubisky to throw. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback and when he delivers the ball.
And his kick is absolutely perfect. And they get themselves on the board here. It's 10-3. All right, so they needed 2 scores to get back in the game. The field goal there, maybe not exactly what they wanted, but the necessary first step.
There's still time remaining, and there's enough time to get it done. They've got to get at the least a 3-and-out here to get the ball back, preferably a takeaway. And that drives coaches insane, doesn't it? When they see that happen, it just doesn't feel right, does it? Plus, you're giving up yardage.
The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. Now, listen, it's a team game. We know that. But where would these guys be right now, Charles, without their defense? So they take over here following the turnover. Defense did it again. But on offense, they have to feel like, hey, we need to do something.
You're exactly right. You just mentioned it. The defense did it again. They bailed them out on a number of occasions in this contest. It's time for them to repay the defense at the least. Keep the ball for a while. Give those guys a break so they can catch their breath.
So 2nd down and 10. Once again, they'll go from the 40. Give to Cook out of the gun. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. A gain of 13. It's a 1st down.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the 4th as it was way back in the 1st, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
Following the good run by Cook, here's another 1st and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 3.
Oh, that's one to warm the hearts of all those old school football players, isn't it? Tough, hard, gritty run, got behind his pads, bowled over a few people. Look at that one, right up the gut.
So up through 3 quarters, no reason to lighten up now. From the 41, Winston. Now they go screen, it's complete. And he'll lose yardage here, back at the 47. It goes as a loss of 6. And now 3rd down. One of the bigger plays in the game thus far, and the crowd getting into it as we come up on a big 3rd down. Jameis to throw it. He gets this one into the hands of Dalvin Cook. And he can only get this to the 42-yard line, and that is not near enough. It'll be a gain of 4, and that'll bring up 4th down. The Vikings send out their punter. He's been terrific so far. Oh, and what a play on special teams here. This is going to be down inside the 5, all the way down at the 2-yard line.
You hate to give the ball away here in the 4th quarter while you're just holding a slim lead, but that punt, absolutely ideal. They pin them inside the 5-yard line. They give their defense a really nice opportunity.
The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They had to hit a really long field goal to do so.
The kickers in today's game are so good and so skilled and hit from distances that we almost start to take them for granted. And we can't do that. That's a long field goal that they got 3 points out of. They've got to feel good about that, and they better make sure they love him up because he's helped them out.
Yeah, now we'll see if that offense can put 6 on the board here. We'll see.
Check. Crunch. 30. X3. 218. Chop. Lock in. You got to get moving, man. Ran. Get that. Switch. Hey, echo.
Off the play fake. Here's Trubisky. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Burton. And he's able to get this one all the way past the 30. That one covers 24 yards. It's a 1st down.
The goal for any offense versus his own defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed. And he's into the clear. The 20, 10, touchdown, Chicago. Mike Davis hitting double digits with his 10th touchdown of the season as they can now tie the game with the extra point here in the final 2 minutes. The extra point, a vital one, and he gets it to go. And we are tied here in the 4th quarter. All level now at 10 apiece as the kick's away.
Let's go. Do it.
At their own 25-yard line.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
And he'll get it out near the 40 to the 39. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a 1st down.
But they picked up a little bit of yardage there, and now, in this situation, should be in no hurry to run a play really fast. Let the clock wind down.
Some good games going on in the early window. This might be the best of the bunch. Winston to throw. Eluding the pressure right. Now he's going to send this one deep right. Oh, wide open, complete. A big play there for Minnesota. 41 yards. Now the Bears going to call the first of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds left to go in the game. So a big play as it gets them all the way down to the 20 now for 1st and 10. Another tote for the workhorse this afternoon. It's Cook. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down.
2nd and 10 at the 19-yard line.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again 2nd and 10. They run it again with Cook. And he showed off the athletic juke. Good little gain there. Not a whole lot of real estate, but a nice carry.
Got a quick flash about being in their huddle. Whatever the play call was, it was tagged with these words: make sure you stay in the middle of the field. That's where we want to be.
And he did just that. Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. Well, they've had a great, impressive drive going here, and that pickup ensures the drive continues.
And not only do you continue the drive, which is demoralizing for the guys on the defensive side of the ball right now, but you make your own defense happy.
And he's in for the touchdown! And in the final seconds, forget overtime, they just likely won this thing in regulation.
And that score, in this time frame, that's like a big reveal at the end of a great movie, isn't it? Out of nowhere, almost, it appears, they get it done. How about that score?
Finishes like this is why we love sports. This is why we love the game of football.
So glad that we got to be here to watch this one.
And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. Critical condition here, obviously. Got to hope to get something quick right and then maybe take that shot deep.
And once they do take the big shot, you've got to worry on defense. Of course, no one getting behind the defense and make it an easy throw. But nowadays, it's not just the ball being tipped in the air and people in the end zone in a cluster. It's that guy that's short in the end zone who comes up and ends up making the play because he goes unguarded. So there's a lot to think about if you're playing defense in this situation.
We'll see if they can cover all their bases. And a big loss here as he's taken down. So they'll quickly now signal for the timeout. And it's definitely not looking good, but at least they'll have one final play to hope for that miracle and get them in the end zone. After that sack we just saw, Trubisky and the Bears deal with a 3rd and long. One last shot for Trubisky. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And it's incomplete. So their final drive comes up empty. And with that, the ball game is over. Well, going into the final play of this game, they knew that they needed some type of a miracle there at the very end, but they couldn't get it done. However, we were treated to really a spectacular affair.
Even though they didn't finish it off, you're exactly right. They took us down to the last play. We're still, you're wondering, could it happen? Possibly, even though we both knew it was a long shot.
So for the Vikings, it's an 11th win of the year as they'll finish the regular season at 11-5. And now they'll await the final seeding for the playoffs ahead. Meanwhile, for the Bears, despite the loss here, they're going to wind up with a very good 11-5 overall mark. And as division champs, they will host a playoff game next week in the wild card round. So for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Next game, guess what? Charles and I will be here again. It's the NFL on EA Sports.